Game 3 of Spurs T-Wolves. Minnesota entered 3-0 at home in these playoffs. They haven't faced that man yet at home. Victor Wembanyama. Ant Edwards getting the start. He came off the bench in both games 1 and 2. Both men lived up to the billing. First possession. One of those half dozen times per game. You ask, what do you do with that? The answer is not a darn thing. Just lob it in the vicinity. Wemby reverse slam. He's the first player ever through 6 playoff games to average better than 15 points, 5 blocks. He had 5 blocks in this game and scored the team's first 7 points. So, off to a good start. Spurs up 7-1. Game 3 winners and tied best of 7s advanced 73% of the time. So, Ant Edwards knows this is pivotal. And that at the siren to end the first quarter. He had 13 in the first, but T-Wolves down 1 after 1. Julius Randle, though, apparently off his own miss, passed French class. Left-handed slam beats Wemby to the tin. Not many guys do that. Randle had 12. Those allowed us 2. Games tied at the half. Then in the third quarter, it was the summer superhero epic. Alien versus Ant-Man. Wemby went 3 for 5 from 3. We're going to show you all 3 of his threes. Ant Edwards splits the double team, goes glass. He had a team-high 32. Wolves within 5. 2 minutes left in the third. Wemby, they've been physical with him, gets a tough bucket inside, switches hands left to right hand. San Antonio's up 7 as we head to the fourth. And then Wemby caught fire offensively. A barrage à trois. Had the first 7 points for the Spurs, and then he had 16 in the fourth. But Minnesota, they've been terrific in the fourth quarter in these playoffs. Rudy Gobert, second chance bucket, gets a hometown roll. 13-7 for the Stifle Tower. Wolves within 3. 3 minutes to play. Wemby, contested 3 over Gobert. He had 39 with 15 and 5 blocks. If that sounds impressive, it's because it is. Because in NBA playoff history, since blocks became a thing, Big Vic, the 4th player with 35 points, 15 boards, and 5 blocks. The other 3, strap in. Hakeem, who did it 3 times, Shaq did it 3 times, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. That's the company. Danny Green, welcome back into SportsCenter. Spurs take a 2-1 series lead. Outstanding game from Victor Wembanyama. This guy lacks precedent. We're also seeing him in road environments in which we've never seen before. Watching Wemby, what did you see? What did you learn in this road win Friday night?
I saw a lot of maturity, not just in him, but in his whole group. The ball club was great tonight. They came out with a sense of urgency. They didn't start off slow. He had their first 7 points. I think it was 11-1 to start the game, and they had 18-3. They let him back in there because Minnesota's a good team. They fought, but he didn't settle. He got to the basket. He got closer to the basket, made a lot of shots there before he started taking his threes. And once he starts knocking down threes, it's a troublesome night. But Rudy, gave him a challenge. He tried to give him as much as he could. But Wemby was just in another zone tonight. He led his team to victory, did what the Stars are supposed to do. And as a young kid who's only been in his 3rd year, I think, and only his first time in the playoffs, he really showed a lot of veteran leadership tonight for that young group.
Yeah, it feels like he and the rest of that Spurs team are learning on the fly and passing all of these exams with flying colors. But shifting over to the Minnesota side of this here equation, despite getting 32 from Ant-Man, not to mention that being a team high and the team high 14 boards that he pulled down, what more can Minnesota do to try to get this thing back on track in Game 4?
Well, it's got to be their defense, right? That's what gives them the chance night in, night out, even when guys are out. They have Io back, they have Ant Edwards back, but Dante's not right there right now. But they got to continue to be physical. Like Naz Reid was great tonight offensively. Julius was solid, but you got to give him a little more for Julius. But they got to keep Wemby away from the basket. Anthony left it all on the floor. He gave you 40 minutes, no minute restriction anymore. So he scored greatly. Naz scored greatly. They had some good production from other guys. But defensively, that's where it's got to start for them. You allow Spurs to get 115, it's going to be hard to keep up and score that when you're down bodies or guys that are hurt or a minute restriction and that sort. Anthony Edwards did more than we expected him to do. Even Rudy, you got to give Rudy a lot of credit. He fought Wemby tough in the paint. He didn't allow him to just get many rebounds, kind of beat him up some, and he scored double-digit points. So you got to find points as many places as you can on the offense end. But defense is where your staple is, and you got to be physical Wemby and not let him get close to the basket, get easy things going for himself to get a rhythm.
It has been a physical series, and it looks like it's likely going to ramp up as it continues. Danny Green, we appreciate you here on SportsCenter.
Thank you, guys.
New on Sports Center, the wily vet from the San Antonio Spurs, De'Aaron Fox.
We didn't turn the ball over. I think we had maybe one. But just being able to control the ball, control the pace. I think we played at our pace the entire game, and I think that's kind of wore them down. I mean, we played 10 guys, so we try to come at guys. We try to come at teams in waves, and I think we did that well.
We got to talk about the big fella, the physicality he takes, De'Aaron, and the efficiency he gives. What are we witnessing with Victor, especially in his first postseason?
I mean, greatness. We all know that. We see him every day. We see the work and the time that he puts into his game and his body, knowing that teams are going to come out here and try to be physical with him, and he fights through that. He doesn't complain. He knows what he's going to endure, and he comes out here and he produces.
You know how hard it is to win, beat a team twice in a row.
New on SportsCenter, Minnesota coach Chris Finch. Fiery moments in Game 3. Here he is at the podium.
Chris, you guys grinded your way back into it.
Yeah.
What did you see in the fourth quarter that just couldn't allow you to get over the hump there?
Some defensive game plan mistakes hurt us. We missed some open shots for sure, and then we just fouled a little bit too much. So just gave them enough of the breathing room that they needed. So.
In terms of the game plan mistakes, what were you seeing in the matchups? How are they losing track of those things?
It was just bad routes. Rudy decides to go under on the flare screen. That was a 3. Pull in on the pick and roll over help, gave up a 3 in the corner. Just a lot of little things like that. Just weren't on point when they needed to be. So,
what did you think of what Ant gave you tonight?
Oh, it was awesome. It was great. And then it was good. He needed that, we needed that, and he's been battling back to find a game like this, and it couldn't have come at a better time. Unfortunately, we couldn't get the result that went along with it. But
you found your offense with the drive and kick game. Was that kind of the plan leaning into it going in?
Well, that's what the plan has been kind of all series. But I think today we finally had an understanding of what that felt like. So
Chris, 0 for 12 to start the night. Was that just a matter of missing shots, or?
Some of it was. We missed some open threes. I thought, we took a bunch of kind of challenged runners in the paint, and when we did have a clean layup, we didn't finish very well or at all. So, but the guys did a good job, kept guarding, kept making the game about defense, and we were able to claw our way back into it.
Did Julius's foul trouble in third quarter kind of mess up some of the rotations and smaller lineups you were getting to against Wemby in the first half, or kind of how did you manage that?
Yeah, it certainly hurt. It certainly hurt us a bit. Kind of shortened up the rotation here once those guys found a rhythm of playing. So when you do that and then you get foul trouble, it kind of really puts you behind. So,
just generally, Chris, with that non-Rudy lineup, do you feel like that's really a weapon for you in this series?
I thought the Rudy lineup's been okay too. So it all depends. I think it's kind of piece by piece depending on what's going on in the game.
I guess the better way to put that would be: do you need to have kind of multiple faces in this?
Sure. We've got to be able to guard. We can't expect one person to play 48 minutes and guard them the whole time. So we got to be able to do different things and be able to, give them different looks, that kind of thing. So,
Coach, we seem that we kind of struggled all game to get a stop. Can you hear me?
I missed the beginning of your.
I said, it seemed that we struggled to get a stop the entire game. What adjustments do we need to make, both offensively and defensively, to even out the series?
Well, I kind of disagree. I don't think we struggled to get stops. I think timely stops maybe, but not all game. I thought the game was shooting percentages were pretty low. They had a hot third quarter. That's really kind of where a lot of these shooting percentages that they have may have been elevated. I think they had 6 or 7 threes in the third quarter. So that was about transition, getting matched up early. And as far as adjustments, we'll continue to look at the tape and make those and go forward. But,
Chris, I'm not sure I've seen players hold a referee back from their head coach before.
Pretty unprofessional, huh?
Well, we
did a really good job at the start. Obviously, they missed some shots, but I thought we put ourselves in a good position in terms of trying to provide some resistance and then being connected and being in terms of just on rotations and anticipating where our teammates were going to be. I thought we did a good job at the start.
Mitch, Vic had 16 of his 39 in the fourth quarter, played with 5 fouls. Did you feel like this is just one of those games that he wasn't going to let you guys lose?
He definitely made some big plays. I don't know if I had that good of a feeling, but I thought he really imposed himself on the game, and I thought he established himself dominating the paint and the rim on both ends. And when he does that, it kind of feels like then everything opens up for himself and his teammates. And then he still gets some shots on the perimeter. He gets some closeouts. He gets the gravity in terms of, teams are trying to be physical with him, of course. And so, there's a lot of bang-bang plays there, and he should get rewarded for some of them. And I thought he did a good job of playing through that contact and not expecting calls or trying to get them, and just met the physicality with proper execution.
When he picks up the fifth foul, 6-18 to go, is there an internal dialogue as to whether you should get him out, leave him in? Are you arguing with yourself at that point? It's just a no-brainer.
It's a valid question. We put Luke in there, and part of it also was he played, I believe, for maybe almost 12 straight game minutes or something like that. And so, again, for what we ask of these guys, it's tough for them to play those stretches and then still expect the pace and activity and the physicality that we demand. And so I thought Luke did a good job in terms of giving us a minute. And sometimes that minute, or just, letting the guy catch his breath, it may not show itself in the box score, even the plus minus, but if that allows him to come finish the game properly and appropriately, then that goes into part of our philosophy and game plan. But I thought we were going to not leave any bullets in the chamber in terms of keeping him on the bench. We were going to play him, and then if he fouled out, we deal that when we got to it.
Tough L to take for Ant-Man, 32-14. He and Naz Reid at the podium post game here on SportsCenter.
And you guys are down big early there. What did you see that was just not working early, and how did you claw back into the game the way that you did?
Just get some stops. We wasn't getting many stops, and our shot wasn't going in, but just staying with the game plan and execution offensively.
You had, I think, 41 minutes tonight. Was it your plan all the way to just kind of go as far as you needed to go, and how do you feel coming off of that?
Yeah, for sure. I told Coach, however many minutes you need me to play tonight, I'm willing to do it, and I feel good.
Nas, just kind of what made it tough in the third quarter to slow them down? They had 35 points and seemed to be where they really took control of this game.
Offensive rebounds. I think they hit a few hit a few threes off of those. I think they started playing faster as well. So just those two factors, and they kind of buckled in on and was able to execute.
And 0 for 12 as a team to start the night tonight. Was that just a case of you guys missing shots to open the game tonight, or what do you think happened in the opening minutes tonight?
I think that's all there can be. We was able to get it up on the rim. It just didn't go in for us. But we clawed our way back into the game, so I don't think that really hurt us. I think it was the third quarter. Every time we scored to cut the game within 2, they got 2 offensive rebounds for 2 threes, kick out threes. I think that's really what hurt us. We gotta get those defensive rebounds, man. We gotta box them out. Number 30 is crashing every time, and number 1 is hell on the offensive glass. So we gotta box him out and then box everybody else out and gang rebound.
And what made it difficult to get free for good looks in the second half?
For who?
You.
I don't think it was difficult. I think I got good looks from the game. Yeah.
Now, you guys on the offensive glass that kind of kept you in the game, especially in the fourth quarter, early on. Tons of second chance points tonight. Is that an avenue you guys see to long-term success in this series?
I think every game, regular season, postseason, those plays matter. Whether you get the ball or not, whether you put your hand on it, whatever you could do for your team get the ball, and not the other team. So I think whether it's postseason, regular season, all that matters regardless. So.
And you said you guys clawed back after that first quarter. It seemed like that had a lot to do with the drive and kick game that you guys got going. But it seems like you have multiple times per possession where you're driving and kicking, but that's a little bit different than the regular season and this opponent. Like, what is that kind of like mentally to stay focused on drive and kick over and over?
I mean, they got somebody who's 7'6" on the floor, and he takes up a lot of space. So just trying to, figure out ways to find an open man around him, because in the paint he's just everywhere. So just trying to, like I said, find ways to find somebody who open. Yeah, I feel like we had a good dose of that throughout the whole game. I think, like I went in the locker room and told the guys, like, we had a bunch of great looks. I feel like we had a bunch of great looks, and if we make our shots, we win this game.
And